Hello guys, this is Jacob. Today we're going to talk about the latest release from Microsoft of the AI agent. It's called Magentic One. So in this tutorial, we're going to show you guys how to run this with Groq instead of OpenAI, the easiest way. So let's get started. Let's go to the Magentic One official GitHub page. So basically, you can just go to the AutoGen repo. It's a sub-project of AutoGen, and then you can see the AutoGen Magentic One description right in here. Basically, this project provides a couple of features. So they do file server, web server, and coder. So that's the three things they actually provide. So if this description is too complicated, that's what it's doing. And basically, you can go through the README. It's a little bit more complicated actually, but I will show you the easy way to actually demonstrate everything in a very straightforward text document. Okay, so if you also go to the examples, right? So it's very straightforward. They have coder, file server, and web server. So that's all they provide. So, but the documentation is a little bit confusing somehow. So that's why I make this video, to make it super easy for you guys. Alright, let's go to the terminal to see how this is done and how this works. So here's the basically how to set it up. So first, basically have to figure out where this is downloaded. So you should specify a root folder, right? So if you downloaded a different folder, we can just specify here whatever that you downloaded. Right, and then but I just set it to Kaggle working because I usually demo everything on Kaggle, but this is Dockerized application, so we have to do it on a local host. So and then we just set it to a Kaggle working folder. You can set it to wherever you want to use, and then we basically set it to a folder, clone this repo, it's AutoGen repo, right? So it's a sub project of AutoGen, the Magentic One, and after that you can do install for UV, which is a super fast Python package installer and manager. So you can do it in the curl way or a pip way. So in this demo, we just do this pip way. So after you install UV, and then you just also need to export the path. Right, so because UV is actually in the local B, make sure that you export the path to it. If you don't, then it might not work. So make sure you do that. And you cd to the AutoGen Python folder, because everything Python related virtual environment packages, it will be in this folder. Right, it's not gonna be in the Magentic One folder, but instead they're actually in the main AutoGen folder. It's a Python subfolder, right? That's where all the dependencies are. So go to this folder and do a UV sync all extras. This will sync all the dependencies, and after that, basically we'll create a .venv folder, which is the virtual environment. So basically this folder. So they didn't really mention very clear that, but we just make sure this is clear to you guys. So basically you just go to this virtual environment folder and activate it. So do a UV sync and then activate this virtual environment, which is installed by the UV, and cd to the Magentic One folder, right? So you're in the virtual environment, cd to this AutoGen Magentic One folder. After that, do a pip install -e. So this is a Python project, PyProject, so you do this way. And then you also want to install Playwright as well as documented in the GitHub repo. So you want to install that as well. And then just do a Playwright install cloning. So that's all for the dependencies. We mentioned something like we don't want to use OpenAI, right? We don't want to use OpenAI, we want to use Groq or Llama. So that being said, you have to basically change some configurations here. So specify the chat completion provider still OpenAI, because Groq is OpenAI compatible, so the provider is still OpenAI. And then change the chat completion KW args JSON to these three things, right? Base URL, put in Groq, API key, whatever the API key you get from Groq console. Then the model, you can pick anyone from the Groq console. You can use Llama 3.1 70B versatile. You can use the Llama 3 AB instant or AB 8192 or something, but you can pick a model you like. Right? So that's all you have to set up. This is one way to do it, and the other way is to actually just change the example file. We'll show you guys a little bit later, but this is one way to do it, and the other way is basically to change each of the example files, like example coder, example server, a web server, example file server, and we'll show you in a bit. And then after that, make sure that the model info included the new model that you created. So because the model info only contains OpenAI information, so make sure this file is updated to use Groq models. Okay, and then let's go to the other file, which is the model. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Right. So basically, here's model pointers. Right. So you have to add whatever the Groq models you want, right? So we added 2 is Llama 3AB or Llama 3.170B. You can add anyone from the Groq model, and also you have to add it in the model capabilities, right? So basically, vision is false, function calling is true, JSON output is true. Make sure this is correct according to the model select from Groq. And after that, just go to this model token limits. Set the token limits from the Groq console's information. So this is just set the AB, this per day limit, right? This per day, set to per day limit. So anyway, you can set per minute. I'm not sure exactly, but you can set it. You have to set it. Basically, set a number here, and that's it. So this is basically to add your Groq model to a Magentic One. Okay, and let's go back to the other folder. So then that's all you have to set up. This is everything that you have configured to use Groq with Magentic One. And then after that, a couple of things to take a look, which is the examples, like I mentioned earlier. So there's a example coder. This is basically a coding agent. The file server is sort of like a file lookup or a query agent, and the other one, the web server. So we'll show you the coder in this demo, which is, I think, the most popular people are basically looking to. And then if you go to coder, you can see that there's a client file here, right? So basically, a client, you can actually use the environment variables as I demoed earlier, or you can directly specify the base URL as a Groq URL, and the API, basically the whatever API key you have on the Groq, as I mentioned earlier, and then the model. So just specify this, you'll be running Magentic One with Groq instead of OpenAI. So that's all you have to do. And for the file server and the web server, the same. So if you go to file server, do the same thing. Okay. If you go to the other one, which is the web server, do the same thing. Right. Also, you might have some permission issues if you use the web server, but let's not worry about that right now. Just do the example coder, which is a pretty good, actually pretty good coding agent. We'll show you in a little bit. So let's go to this AutoGen Magentic-One folder, AutoGen Magentic-One folder. So this is where all the examples are. So use the Python in the virtual environment to run the example coder, not the actual Python in the main sort of main binary, but use the one that's in the virtual environment which you created using the UV manager, right? So just use that Python. And because Python has all the dependencies and also the pip wired up, and then use that Python to run the example.coder, and then basically create a log directory. You can create a log directory wherever you want. So I created it in the Kaggle working my logs. So, and after that, just hit enter. Just wait a bit, and then it'll basically pop up a prompt to say a user input what is you want to do. Let's say is 3307 prime, right? And then I will say, okay, I had a program for you, right? And then basically the agent wrote a program, basically, so that you can see if it's correct, and then if it's correct, just click yes and run. So it will say, okay, there's some error here, right? You can then ask again, is 3307 a prime number, right? So that they try to write again and say if you think this is right, click yes, right? It is true. So it says okay. This time it says okay, it's a prime number. You can keep on asking it, and they will actually respond in a very interactive way. And the next one we'll test is, can you write a assist thinking, right? And then start thinking and start processing. And so do you want to proceed? So it's already finished the program. You should say yes, right? And then they say, okay, you have to install Pygame. So after install Pygame, they'll run this. But it probably likely it's a has a UI that you have to actually look up. But you can always copy paste the code in the Visual Studio and try. So let's exit. So that's basically how to use it, right? So and exit that. You see this is completed. Then you actually just can exit. Do a Control C to exit it. So that's it, right? So you can actually try the other one, which is the example file server as well. Right? The file server is also a nice way. File server, but it basically just search the local folder, and then you can ask what's the files in this directory and stuff like that. But I think the coder is really awesome, so you should try it out. And you see that's very quick. It's not like the other AI coding agent. It's a bit slow, and it basically like a streaming way, but this is really quick, so which is super awesome. So, but that's it. This is how you run Magentic One with Groq, and you can actually test it with the coding agent, and also can test it with the files server. So yeah, that being said, hopefully this is helpful, and if you do like this video, please subscribe and like. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and thanks for supporting the channel. See you in the next one.